Okay, so while that's drying up, I'm going to take a look at the chassis again and try to figure out where this is wired in. Which may be a little more challenging. Things are always a little more challenging than expected. So on the circuit diagram, there's the shadow meter. Okay. So there's the shadow meter. There's some kind of resistor. Capacitor there. Hey, I know that one. And coil. So if I can find where this coil and this capacitor connect, I'll know that spot. I should be able to figure out this resistor and what has been done to the radio. Now there's a chance they just shorted this guy out, but he's got about 1,000 ohms resistance. I don't know about this guy here. I'd say that's number 14. Let's see what number 14 says. Number 14. Brown, black, red. Brown, black, red. Of course, it's been changed out. So let's find that point first. Back on the schematic here. This point connects to resistor 14. It connects to the coil. Also, there's a wire heading off over this way. So there's quite a few connections coming off this line here. If we figure out where this which line it with this coil, it should come straight back. Well, this was the little capacitor and resistor I worked on. They're not really part of the deal here. So it's nothing to do with those. 14. 13 is that block there that I eliminated. That resistor 14 could be underneath that blue tape. No, wait a minute, I put the tape on. There's no way it's under there. Okay. And this cut wire here is a little bit suspicious too. And this big ugly resistor is also a little bit suspicious. It's all kind of suspicious to me. So one side of the capacitor goes to ground, the other side connects to the B plus line, which connects ultimately to this coil. Yeah, let me study this for a little bit. Okay, so I've been studying this diagram here, okay, which gives the parts locations and the parts numbers. And of course, I've been studying the schematic. I've been studying the radio. Now, I'm a little unnerved by all this stuff here. We've got these floating wires. I've disconnected this block and it has these alternate capacitors. When I look very closely, let's see, at the schematic, I see that what do I see here? Yeah, here we are. Good show. I see it's a little out of focus, but that's number 14, that resistor. Number 14. Okay, so I look in the parts list. Number 14, and number 14 right there, resistor, brown, black, red. So it's 1, 0, 2 more zeros. It's a 1,000 ohm resistor. Okay, I looked in the radio. I can't find a 1,000 ohm resistor in there. So I look at this diagram after, and this is a real eye tester. There's the 14, and it's pointing to the resistor sitting right there. And it's basically mounted on the top of this block, which of course is this block, the one that's had everything moved around and changed around. So I'm starting to guess now that the resistor is just gone. It's just been removed entirely. So I have both the coil and this resistor missing. That's about 2,000 ohms in the plate circuit. That doesn't sound very good to me. That sounds really quite bad, in fact. I don't know the resistance of my new coil. I haven't measured it yet, but I'll bet you it's 500 ohms. That was my calculation. It would come out somewhere around 500 ohms, which means I got to put that 1,000 or maybe even a 1,500 resistor in there to get the plate current right. I may have to fiddle with this quite a bit. So that's my assumption. The resistor is just missing in action. So that leaves me wondering, okay, so where should I put it? How should I wire this thing up? So somewhere there should be a wire I can cut and insert in series the coil and another resistor. So what I could do at this point is I could remount the shadow meter completely, finish the wire connections, and bring the lead wires down into the bottom of the radio, just make them really long, and then worry after that where they go. And this is the plate. Well, actually, you know what? This is picking up a fair bit of. It's picking the plate current there, plate current here, plate current there, and the plate current here. So it's picking up a couple of plate currents, and it's ignoring the oscillator. And that makes sense. Oscillator plate current should be pretty steady. These two plate currents are going to vary with the AVC. And the AVC is going to reduce the plate current in these two tubes. Hey, they're both 44s. And in doing that, it's going to reduce the current through the shadow meter, causing the vane to relax and allow light through. So a little backwards to what you might think. It's actually the reduction in current through the coil that increases the amount of light that's displayed. It's just not quite intuitive. So I'm going to, off camera again, I'm going to hunt down and set up. I'm going to hunt down. No, what am I going to do? I'm going to fetch the parts I need to finish off the shadow meter coil. Get that done. So I'll be back on in a few minutes here.